The Texas Department of Transportation, or TxDOT, Houston District, would like to welcome you to this virtual public meeting with in-person open house. This presentation will provide information on the proposed Farm to Market, or FM, 1764 project, consisting of roadway reconstruction, sidewalk and pedestrian improvements, and roadway restriping. This is a pre-recorded presentation. My name is Melissa Cross, and I am part of the project team. I would like to thank you for participating in this public meeting. During the virtual presentation, you may pause the video and navigate forward or backward using your video player. If you have any technical difficulties accessing the public meeting information, need special accommodations, or speak a language other than English or Spanish and have interpretation needs, please contact Gabriel Adame at 713-802-5199. Details on how to submit comments will be provided later in the presentation. This virtual public meeting is being held in conjunction with an in-person open house. The open house will be held on Thursday, April 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Our Lady of Fatima Catholic School, located at 1600 9th Avenue North, Texas City, Texas, zip code 77590. The information presented in the virtual public meeting and the in-person open house is identical, and the opportunities to comment do not differ. The purpose of this public meeting is to engage with stakeholders in the adjacent communities regarding the proposed project and to receive feedback. It also offers an opportunity for the project team to address any questions or concerns from the public. TxDOT commits to purposefully involve the public in planning and project implementation by providing for early, continuous, transparent, and effective access to information and decision-making processes. At this meeting, TxDOT would like you to join the process through your participation in this meeting, learn about the project, understand the existing conditions of the roadway, comment on the information provided at this meeting, and follow the project progress by staying engaged with TxDOT through the project webpage. Throughout this presentation, individual puzzle pieces will appear in the upper right-hand corner of each slide. The color of the puzzle piece indicates which of the 5 topics, join, learn, understand, comment, or follow, is being discussed. A portion of this project is receiving federal funds, and because of the federal component, TxDOT is required to assess the potential environmental effects of the proposed project in accordance with federal standards. The process that is followed is called the National Environmental Policy Act process, otherwise known as NEPA. The NEPA process provides analysis of the potential impacts to the natural and man-made environment and helps the decision maker to make an informed decision on whether or not to proceed with the project. On December 9, 2019, TxDOT received a signed Memorandum of Understanding from the Federal Highway Administration that permits TxDOT to assume responsibility from the Federal Highway Administration for reviewing and approving certain assigned NEPA projects. This review and approval process applies to this project. At the top of the slide, you can see that the Join puzzle piece has appeared. In this part of the presentation, I will review the agenda and describe how this meeting was advertised. Then I will provide an overview of the project, discuss background information, and explain the need and purpose of the proposed project. This will be followed by a detailed discussion of the proposed improvements and the environmental analysis. Funding information and next steps will be provided following the engineering and environmental discussions. Toward the end of this presentation, there are instructions on how to submit written comments as well as contact information for TxDOT. In preparation for this public meeting, notices in both English and Spanish were published on the TxDOT webpage on March 18, 2024. Elected officials were notified of this public meeting by mail and email on March 15, 2024. Notices in both English and Spanish were mailed to adjacent property owners, local schools, emergency services, and neighborhood associations on March 20, 2024. Approximately 8,104 postcards were mailed using Every Door Direct on March 20th, 2024 to mailboxes within the 77591 and 77590 zip codes. Notices were also published in English in the Galveston County News on March 20th, 2024, and in Spanish in La Prensa de Houston on March 21st, 2024. TxDOT advertised the meeting on roadside variable message signs along FM 1764 from March 25th, 2024 to April 4th, 2024. Links to the meetings were posted on the Nextdoor page, TxDOT Facebook page, and TxDOT Houston District X page, formerly known as Twitter. In addition, informative flyers were hand-delivered to local community facilities and gathering places in the vicinity on March 20th, 2024. The proposed project extends east along FM 1764 from Amburn Road west of State Highway SH3 to 14th Street, east of SH 146, a length of approximately 4.8 miles. The project is located entirely within the Texas City city limits. The project is programmed to receive both federal and state funds for a total of approximately $16.5 million. This information is also found on the project handout for quick reference. Now I'd like to provide some background information and facility needs. The pavement on FM 1764 within the project limits and on SH 146 at its intersection with FM 1764 is in poor condition. In addition, the section of FM 1764 between SH 146 and going eastward to 14th Street does not meet current Americans with Disabilities Act, known as ADA, standards. This section of the proposed project has intermittent sidewalks, some of which are in disrepair. Curb ramps are also absent at numerous driveways, and several intersections do not have traffic signal pedestrian push buttons. FM 1764 within the project limits varies from 2 to 3 lanes, and the SH 146 frontage roads at the FM 1764 intersection are 3 lanes in each direction. East of SH 146, FM 1764 from 34th Street to 21st Street had historically been 3 lanes in each direction. In 2012, in an effort to improve safety and reduce crashes, the outside lanes were converted to continuous right turn lanes, the current configuration. In 2023, TxDOT received a request to return the lane configuration to the 3 through lanes in each direction. In response to the request, TxDOT researched crash data from 2012 to 2021, turning movements, and average daily traffic counts along the corridor. The review concluded that, within this section, converting the outside through lanes to right turn only lanes did not provide significant improvement of crash rates. The review also identified that more than 90% of the vehicles traveling between 34th Street and 21st Street continue straight through this section of the corridor and are not turning onto side streets. After reviewing crash rates, vehicle movements, and average daily traffic counts, TxDOT agreed with the recommendation that the lane configuration in this section should return to 3 continuous through lanes in each direction. To summarize, the proposed project is needed because the existing pavement is in poor condition, the corridor does not meet current ADA standards, sidewalks and driveway curb ramps are intermittent between SH 146 and 14th Street, and there is heavy congestion due to only 2 through lanes in each direction from 34th Street to 21st Street. The purpose of the proposed project is to rehabilitate the pavement throughout the corridor, create 3 through lanes in each direction between 34th and 21st Streets to facilitate improved mobility, and improve accessibility for all users. The next few slides illustrate existing and proposed typical sections for the project. An existing typical section is a cross-section of how the road looks today, and a proposed typical section is how the road would look if the project was constructed. As constructed today, the roadway within the project area has 5 different typical sections. The locations of each of these 5 typical sections are shown on this map in orange, brown, purple, green, and blue. We will now discuss each of these in further detail. As shown in orange on the map inset, the first typical section spans FM 1764 from the western project limit at Amburn Road to approximately 2,500 feet west of SH 146. This segment is currently a 4-lane freeway section with 2 12-foot wide travel lanes, a 9.5-foot wide inside shoulder, and a 10-foot wide outside shoulder in each direction. An existing 5-foot wide raised concrete median barrier is located along the center of the roadway, and the ditches are present in the grassy medians adjacent to the main lanes. Note that the freeway has 2-lane frontage roads, however, they are outside of the project limits and no improvements are proposed for the frontage roads. The pavement of the main lanes along this portion of the project would be reconstructed and restriped, but no other work is proposed. Therefore, no changes to the existing typical section would result from the project. This slide shows the second proposed typical section, shown in brown on the map inset. This is a transition area on FM 1764 from a 4-lane section to a 6-lane section meeting up with SH 146. This segment is currently a 6-lane freeway section with 3 12-foot wide travel lanes and a 6 to 10-foot wide outside shoulder in each direction. An existing 16 to 24-foot wide median is located along the center of the roadway. Note that the freeway section has 2-lane frontage roads. However, they are outside of the project limits and no improvements are proposed for the frontage roads. This short 2,500-foot section would be reconstructed and restriped. However, the lane configuration would not change. The third existing typical section occurs in 2 separate locations, one on FM 1764 between SH 146 and 34th Street, and the second from 21st Street to 14th Street. These 2 locations are shown in green on the inset map. These segments of FM 1764 are 6-lane roadways with 3 through travel lanes in each direction, 2 11-foot wide lanes and 1 12-foot wide lane with a raised median that varies in width. A curb and gutter drainage design separates sidewalks from roadway lanes. Sidewalks are intermittent and are 4 feet wide where present. This slide shows the proposed typical sections for the green areas on the map inset. This typical section illustrates what FM 1764 from SH 146 to 34th Street and 21st Street to 14th Street would look like. Within this section, existing sidewalks are proposed to be widened from 4 feet wide to 5 to 6 feet wide, and new 5 to 6 feet wide sidewalks would be constructed where not currently present. Pavement would be reconstructed and restriped, but the lane configurations would not change. The fourth typical section is between 34th Street and 21st Street, and is shown in blue on the map inset. This segment of FM 1764 is currently a 4-lane roadway with 1 12-foot wide and 1 11-foot wide travel lane, and an 11-foot wide outside right turn lane in each direction. A continuous 14-foot wide center 2-way left turn lane is in this section. A curb and gutter drainage design separates sidewalks from roadway lanes. Sidewalks, where present, are 4 feet wide. As in the previous slide, the fourth typical section is shown in blue on the map inset. The proposed project would reconstruct and restripe the roadway between 34th Street and 21st Street and convert the outside right turn lane in each direction to a through traffic lane. Existing sidewalks are proposed to be widened from 4 feet wide to 5 to 6 feet wide, and new 5 to 6 feet wide sidewalks would be constructed where not currently present. This slide, the fifth typical section, is along SH 146 and shown in purple on the map inset. Within this section, frontage roads have 3 11-foot wide lanes, and main lanes have 2 12-foot wide lanes, a center median, a 10.5-foot wide inside shoulder, and 12-foot wide outside shoulders. As in the previous slide, the fifth typical section is shown in purple on the map inset. The main lanes would be reconstructed and restriped, but there would be no change to the lane configuration. The frontage roads would be reconstructed, widened, and restriped from 11 feet wide to 12 feet wide. No additional right-of-way would be needed to widen the frontage road. In addition to the previously mentioned improvements, on FM 1764 between SH 146 and 14th Street, new pedestrian push buttons would be added at select traffic signals. Existing curb ramps would be rehabilitated to comply with ADA standards, and new curb ramps would be constructed where they do not currently exist. The project also proposes to complete some minor concrete repairs beneath the bridge located between 34th and 33rd Streets. No modifications to drainage along the project corridor are proposed. The proposed project would not require any permanent right-of-way acquisition. Approximately 1.33 acres of temporary construction licenses would be needed where the existing sidewalk leaves TxDOT right-of-way. A temporary license area is a location where TxDOT would need temporary access to complete construction activities for the project. For this project, the landowner would grant a temporary license to TxDOT to access their property to widen the sidewalk and/or repair or construct new curb ramps outside of the existing TxDOT right-of-way. The contract would be confined to working in the limited areas where a license area is proposed and agreed to. The temporary license would conclude upon completion of the project. Construction-related damages within the license areas would be reimbursed by TxDOT. These license areas are voluntary, and a landowner does not have to grant a temporary license to TxDOT. Sidewalk or curb ramp improvements would not be constructed in areas where a license is denied. Right-of-way agents are available at the in-person open house to answer any questions about this process, and contact information is provided at the end of the presentation. The project team is currently identifying and evaluating potential environmental impacts that could occur as a result of constructing the proposed project. Resources under review include biological resources, protected lands, water resources, hazardous materials, archaeological resources, historic resources, and traffic noise. The project would be designed to avoid or minimize impacts to the greatest amount practicable. The preparation of environmental technical reports is ongoing. Once completed, technical reports documenting the analysis and conclusions of these studies will be available for review upon request. The proposed project would be funded with a combination of federal and state funds for a total of approximately $16.5 million. We want to highlight the estimated project timeline. Look for the green "We Are Here" arrow at the top middle of your screen. After the comment period closes, the project team will review the comments received, make appropriate design changes, and prepare official public meeting documentation. Public meeting documentation will be posted to the project meeting webpage once completed. The next steps include receiving an environmental decision and acquiring the licensing agreements. A letting date is anticipated for late 2024, with the start of construction to follow. The project team estimates that construction would take approximately 2 years. TxDOT encourages you to review the materials regarding the proposed project and provide feedback. You may submit comments in the following ways. Download the comment card from the project webpage, www.txdot.gov TxDOT/projects/hearings-meetings.html and email to hou-pio webmail@txdot.gov. Fill out the comment card at the open house and drop it in the comment box. Mail the comment card to TxDOT Houston District, Attention Advanced Project Development Director, P.O. Box 1386, Houston, Texas 77251, 1386. Comments must be received or postmarked by Friday, April 19th, 2024 to be included in the public meeting documentation. Responses to written comments received during the comment period will be included in the public meeting documentation that will be posted on the project webpage when complete. Please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions, and feel free to contact Gabriel Adame at the TxDOT Houston District Office by phone at 713-802-5199 or email at gabriel.adame@txdot.gov with any general questions or comments at any time during the project development process. For right-of-way specific or questions pertaining to the temporary license areas, please feel free to contact Rebecca Byford with the TxDOT Design Division by phone at 512-918-5723 or email at rebecca.byford@txdot.gov. To access the public meeting page, visit www.txdot.gov/projects/hearings-meetings.html and search for the project or scan the QR code on your screen. And don't forget to click on these links and follow us on X, formerly Twitter, for ongoing road closures and construction updates on the Houston District X page. You may also keep up with TxDOT News on our Facebook page or follow us on our Instagram page. November 7, 2000 was the last deathless day on roadways in Texas. That means for over 2 decades, at least one person has died every single day. We all have a part to play to change that. This message is that reminder to end the streak of deaths on Texas highways. We need drivers and passengers to act more responsibly and help us reach our goal of 0 deaths by 2050. Texans can play a major role in ending fatal crashes with a few simple driving habits. Wear seatbelts. Drive the speed limit. Put away the phone and other distractions. And never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So please do your part and share this message with your friends and family. Thank you for participating in this public meeting. Please remember to submit your comments no later than Friday, April 19th, 2024 to be included in the official public meeting documentation.